What a guy. What a guy. And we stayed very, very close. We became pals, which is interesting. We became pals. And I can remember one day I was speaking in London, and I told the audience about him. I rarely tell this story. Rarely. But I wanted to tell you because he was special to me and what he did for United Way. Anyway, I speak in London, I told the story, and a girl came up to me after, and she said, that story about that blind man really made me feel proud. And I said, why? She said, that's my dad. I said, what? She said, I'm Tricia. I said, I thought you were little. She said, I grew up. She said, I had no idea. She said, I had no idea. I just thought he coped with it. I said, he didn't cope with it. He overcame it. He overcame it. He made the rest of us inspired by the way he did it. And on the way out of town, I'm driving out of town, and I think, I should call him and tell him I met Patricia. Anyway, I have a car that won't pass a Tim Hortons donut store. Okay? It's probably a cop car before I bought it, but... Anyway, I pull into the Tim Hortons, I get the coffee, and I see the payphone. I call him on the payphone. I said, Jimmy, it's Maurice. He said, wait till I tell you this. He didn't give me a chance to tell him I was in London. He said, Tricia just called me. And I said, what'd she say? She said, I love you, Dad. I said, and? He said, she hung up. I said, wow. He said, aren't I a lucky guy? I said, you sure are. Well, one day he did call me. He called me. He called me because he had decided to lease a water purifier. Now, he said the reason he was leasing was if he died, he wouldn't have to pay for the whole thing. I said, Jimmy, he said, you can't be giving your money away, he said. You can't be giving your money. So he called me to tell me he's doing this, and I said, wow. I said, now, so what happened? He said, I was going to buy it, and I decided to lease it, and I had to give the guy the information about my name. And he saw my name, and he said, you know Maurice O'Callaghan? I said, yes. He said, just a minute. He went out to his car, came back in, said, I just talked to my boss, and he said we should give you a 15% discount because of what you did professionally. He said, wow. I said, Jimmy, that's wow, is right. He said, so my question is, do you still tell my story? I said, once in a while. He said, could you tell it more often? And you know what? He had a way of making sure that we didn't feel sorry for him. He never used his white cane. This is interesting. He didn't use a white cane. He didn't want people to feel sorry for him. And what a guy. And every time I'd call him, I'd say, give me the number. Because the 6% became 5.5, and then 5, and then 4. It got down to about 3. And I can remember one day I called him and I said, so give me the number. He said, it's dark now. And I thought, God. And I couldn't say anything, and he detected my discomfort. And he said, look, I told you, don't be feeling sorry for me. He said, something good came out of this. I said, what? He said, well, you know how I go to the mall? I said, yeah. He said, well, I'm taking my white cane now. And he said, and I cut quite a figure with that white cane and the white hair. And he said, and you know I know where everything in that mall is. I said, to the very step. He said, yeah. But now, he said, now I go in there because I'm totally blind. And I just stand there inside the door with my cane, my lovely white hair. And he said, you got to admit I'm a good-looking guy. I said, yeah, Jimmy, are you? For a Scotsman, you're not bad. Yeah, you're good. He said, and the ladies come in and they see me there and they walk up to me and they'll say, could I take you to one of the stores, one of the shops? And he says, yes. He said, I pick one. And he said, they put their arm through my arm and they take me to the store. And he said, Maurice, they all have such nice boobies. God love him. Eh? God love him. And I tell you, he is a very special guy. A very special guy. And my question to you is, what do you think his epitaph's going to read? Do you think his epitaph's going to read, here lies Jim Wrigley, blind man? No. It's going to say, here lies Jim Wrigley, a good and decent man who, by overcoming his blindness, taught the rest of us how to see. My question to you is, what's yours going to say? You're writing it right now. And the epitaph you write today may last a lifetime. So give some thought to what it is you leave behind. And give some thought to the people you touch, to the people you serve, to this lovely city, and to what your contribution is to this whole environment. Because you're going to write your epitaph, and you get to write it yourself. There's an old Italian saying, that goes like this. That when the game is over, the king and the pawn go back in the same box. And William James said 100 years ago, he said, when you were born, you cried and all around you smiled. He said, live your life so that when you die, all around you will weep for your passing and you will smile. Wonderful advice, wonderful advice. Life is a journey. We will all have pain, we will all have joy. We will have tears, we'll have laughter. But the quality of our lives depend on how we choose to live them. Choose joy, choose happiness, choose respect. Choose making the space where you live better, and you won't be sorry. Let me leave you with Leo Buscalia's philosophy of life. Leo said, remember, it's a day wasted unless you find time to laugh and to love and to learn something new. He said, live each day as if it's your last, because one day you're going to be right. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the privilege of talking to you, and I want you to know that you have been a diamond in my day. Take care of each other. Take care of this beautiful city. God bless. Thank you.